When you think of video games based on the works of H.P. Lovecraft, Virtual Boy isn't really the first platform that comes to mind. Innsmouth no Yakata is a first-person survival horror game only released in Japan that is based on the novella Shadows over Innsmouth. The game plays like a hybrid of Wolfenstein 3D and Might and Magic. Although you're exploring the game from a first-person view and aiming a reticule to shoot monsters, the movement is grid-based and the frame rate is so low that you can't really call this a first-person shooter. In fact, it plays a lot like Zybots on the Atari Lynx. However, it is reminiscent of Wolfenstein when it comes to the level design, as the levels are mazes full of identical-looking hallways. There aren't any details you can use as landmarks when navigating these mazes, but luckily you can bring up the map by pressing the select button. This is a vital feature, as for some odd reason there's a time limit in these levels. You have a minute to clear the first levels, but as the levels grow bigger the time limit is extended first to 2, then to 3 minutes. The controls are simple and intuitive. Left D-pad moves, right aims. You can move forward and backwards, but you can only turn in 90-degree increments. It's important to learn how to move quickly due to the time limits. Right trigger button shoots and left reloads your weapon. The survival horror elements come from the fact that you have limited ammo and can't kill all the enemies. Your gun can hold 6 bullets, and you have to load it manually when it's empty. This brings some excitement to gameplay during times when you're surrounded by enemies. Bullets aren't the only thing you're collecting. You also need to find keys to open locked doors. You can carry up to 6 health pickups. You can also find orbs which either reveal the entire map to you, or the location of the exit. If you fail to find the exit in time, you'll have to start the level over again, while other times you'll stumble upon it almost immediately. The game has a great password system, so you won't have to play it until your eyes bleed. The passwords are 4-letter English words despite the game being Japanese, so it's both a user and import-friendly game. The game also automatically sets your latest password for you, so you only have to use them after you've taken a break and shut the game down. While the gameplay is fun in short bursts, it grows repetitive very quickly. The enemies are the only thing that changes between levels. Other than that, your objectives and background scenery always remain the same. Aside from the beautifully detailed cutscenes, the enemies are definitely the high point of this game. Whereas the corridor textures are very drab, the enemy sprites are impressively detailed given the platform. In fact, the only 3D effect in the game is seen when the enemies try to claw your face. They also explode to bits when you kill them. It's a shame that the endless hallways couldn't have the same kind of twisted Geiger-esque designs as the password screen does. That would have elevated the mood of this game to whole new heights. Even though the 3D effect is paltry, this is still one of the better Virtual Boy games, and definitely a step in the right direction as far as the whole virtual reality thing goes. It saddens me that this game was never brought overseas and has become one of the rarest and most expensive Virtual Boy games. However, it's a fun game to whip out every once in a while, and there are 4 different endings, so there's enough replayability to warrant the $130 price tag if you're into collecting for the Virtual Boy, but the game does not offer anything unique enough to be worthwhile for those who are just looking for a good game to play. Though it is still quite interesting for predating Resident Evil, as well as being a Japanese game based on an American novel.